Hello and welcome to this first tutorial video made by your teacher, and in this first video we are going to talk about how to analyze a historical map. Now I do want to point out that you first have to do the exercise in your course and also to find the exercise on the website before you watch this video. So first do the exercise and then check your work, evaluate yourself using this video. Don't do it the other way. Okay, now how to analyze a historical map. Let's first ask the question, what is a map? It's fairly easy to answer that one. And then what is a map used for? What's a map? Well, a map is a graphic representation, an easy way to show a part or the whole world in a conventional way. What do we use it for? Well, we visualize things, events, things that happen somewhere in the world at a certain time as well. Some phenomena, movements, think about migrations or military movements. And it's also an easy way or a great way to show an evolution, how things change over time. Now, you have the how-to sheet 2.1, how to analyze a historical map. On that sheet you'll find that you have to do 4 steps. Map identification, then number 2, observe the scale and key, analysis of the content, which is really important, and then in the end you will synthesize, you will draw some conclusions, and hopefully also maybe you'll be able to ask some questions. Now this looks complicated, but it really isn't. Always make sure you have your how-to sheet with you. We'll also use it for this exercise. Now I chose a map, any random map, to do the exercise. Okay. So step 1, map identification. If you work in an orderly way and you follow the steps, you'll come to a conclusion. First of all, check the date so that we know what the time frame of the event or map is. And then let's also try to find the geographical scope, what part of the world, what area is visualized. The date. Then, there's also a third aspect, of course, our domain. What does this map represent? What aspect of historical reality? Is it a political event? Is it an economic situation, a social event, or a cultural phenomenon? Now, first I have to point out that I see some information that contradicts. If I look at the title, I see the date 1740. Now if I look further into the key, let's zoom in on the key, I find another time frame, and the last date I find is 1533. So I have to say there is a mistake on the map. The date of 1740 is not correct. This is a map made by National Geographic, and even they can make a mistake. So always check the map key to find the dates and then try to say what the time frame is. So in this case I have events between 1230 and it lasts up about till 1533. So that's our time frame. This was not in your course and I didn't add it to the website, but this is where I got the map, so National Geographic. And the map was made in 2013, so it's quite a recent map. Now, to find the geographical scope, to find the visualized area, you have to look at some things on the map. Now, I'll help you a bit. First of all, you could use the parallels, which are these lines, or the meridians. Now, if that doesn't help you a lot, also check what ocean you could find on the map, so that would set you on the way to find the visualized area. Now, I already said that it was produced in 2013. What I see on the map is the west coast of South America and the Andes. It's a huge area, so it's a very big part of the world. Using the map key and looking at what could have happened, I think we might guess that this is a political map. The growth of the Inca Empire, the expansion of that empire. So we identified the map, a short summary of what we've seen. So the map shows the expansion of the Inca Empire on the west coast of South America, geographical scope, and then the time frame between 1230 and 1533. Then, second step, observe the scale and key. So the scale, to look at the proportion of the map, the distances, and compare them to the reality. And then, of course, a map key is really important. What codes, what symbols are used, what do the colors represent. Now, this map is a bit special because, in fact, there is no scale. Well, there is a scale, but it changes with the perspective. Now, as it's such a huge area, we can already know that the scale will be rather small to put this on a map. Now, to show you here on the right hand side how the scale varies, as you can see here, this parallel of 0 degrees, and underneath you'll have a parallel of 10 degrees. So there's a 10 degrees difference. Now, if you go further down the map, there is again a 10 degrees difference, but as you can see, the line is a lot longer. And we even go down here to the 30-degree line. As you can see, this is how our scale varies. Now, let's zoom in on the key and check what is in the key. As you can see, there are 4 main areas, and they are all colored in shades of brown. So they use one color and use different shades of that color. That indicates that there is a link between those colors. Further on, we have a blue line, Inca territory, so that's a blue border. There are 2 lines that indicate roads. There's an arrow. An arrow always shows movement. This is the arrow of the conquest of Pizarro. And then there's one symbol, and this is used to show battles. So I'll summarize: 4 areas colored in shades of brown, 1 area with a blue border, 2 lines, 1 arrow, and 1 symbol showing battles. Just to show you where we can find, here you have the symbol of the different battles. And by the way, this is the line, the arrow of the route that Pizarro followed. Step 3. So we have identified the map, we know our scale, we know the key. So now it's time to look at the content. So to say, maybe first to set a way of how to read the map, and then to tell what the map is about. The main spatial sets will also be given in this area. Now, first, how to read the map. Therefore, we have our map key, and we know that the colors will be rather important. I'll zoom in here so that we can use or see the colors. As you can see, it all starts in the dark brown area and it expands. This map shows you an expansion towards the lighter shades of brown. So if I would say how to read the map, you'll have to start here in the dark brown area and then read how that huge empire, as I'm coloring here, expands. The second thing you can read on the map, and I'll take another color, is the conquest of Pizarro, starting way up here in Panama, and then you can follow his trail until he reaches the city of Cusco. So that's a second way of reading this map. Now, as you read it, you'll also know what the map is about. We can summarize it as the expansion of the Inca Empire and the battles against the neighbors, and then we can see how that empire grows to a huge and vast area. And in the end, we can also see how someone else, Pizarro, comes in and swipes through that empire in about 2 years. So this is the summary. The map shows the expansion of the Incas on a huge territory at the cost of its neighbors. We don't really see who those neighbors are, but we can imagine that. It also shows the route taken by Pizarro shortly before the empire collapsed. And then we'll synthesize, we'll draw some conclusions, so out of our identification about our observing, after we have observed the scale and key, and then of course the analysis of the content. First conclusion, so we'll gather the information collected and then maybe we'll have some questions. First conclusion, the map shows the expansion of the Inca Empire on the west coast of South America and the Andes between 1230 and 1533. So that was our time frame and also the area on the world we were in. Second conclusion, the map shows the expansion of the Incas. They conquer a huge territory and that must be at the cost of its neighbors. We can also find out more information about the battles on the map. Third conclusion, it shows the route taken by Pizarro shortly before the empire collapsed. Now this might lead to some questions. Well, the questions I ask myself, first of all, is how come that such a great empire has collapsed so quickly? It was at the top of its power and then a man comes in and in about 2 years the whole empire crumbles and disappears. So my second question is, of course, is that due to that Pizarro character? So who's that man and what has he done? Is it his fault the huge Inca Empire disappears? Okay, so that was my solution for this first exercise on how to analyze a historical map. I hope I could help you. I hope you can compare my results to your results and give yourself a fair evaluation. The idea is that there will be more of these videos to help you in understanding things, in doing things, in improving your historical skills. Okay, so long.